Okay. Now Patanjali says that if you do a punya, there is ahallada. If you do apunya, there is paritap. Okay. Then one thing that naturally comes to one's mind is, what I would do is I would, I would only do punya, and I will only have ahallada in my life, only pleasure in my life. So what is the need? Why should I go for kaivalya? Why should I transcend both punya or apunya? So it is a nice idea that I will only keep on doing the punya karma and will have one ahallada after another. So Patanjali understands this, and that is why Patanjali in this sutra says that if you are thinking that you will only do punya and have ahallada, then think again, because even if you are doing punya, there is a hidden pain. Say, for example, if you did a good karma and you got what you wanted. For example, you love someone and you did lot of punya and you are lucky enough to marry the person you love. Okay. And you feel that it is God's grace that this particular person has entered into your life. Then after that, what you wanted, what you ever wanted, you got, you feel very grateful. Then in that ahallada also, there are three kinds of dukkhas, Patanjali says. One is parinama dukh, other is tapa dukh, and the third is sanskara dukh. What is parinama dukh? Parinama dukh is that you have got the person, you have got the thing that you wanted, but because of the guna virodha, guna vritti virodha, the nature of things is such in this creation that everything changes. So the person that you have got, the thing that you have got, with time, the ultimate parinama will be that it will not stay with you. Correct? So either the nature of the person may change, the way that you got the person. And we see, people do love marriage and after 8 years they have divorce, because they say that the person I loved is no more there. It is a different person now. So in the parinama, when the vipaka happens, when things move on with change, the thing that you love may not remain the same. That is number one. Second is, even if the thing doesn't change, the very nature of life is such that everything will grow old and wither away. So if nothing separates, time separates. So in parinama, even if we have lot of ahallada throughout life, when the person dies, we see that the partner also dies within few, the time span. So there is great suffering after that. So Patanjali is pointing towards that. Second thing Patanjali says, tapaduk. Tapaduk is a constant burning that goes on in the background. What is that burning? Can you tell me? If you are with your loved one, you got the person you wanted, and every moment that you are spending with the person, you are cherishing it. But there is a tapa underneath. There is a heat underneath. What is that heat? Is there a heat like that? Is there a tapa? One thing is, it is never enough. The more you get, the more you want. That is the tapa. It never allows you to be there. You always want more. Desire one after another. It keeps making new castles. And number two is a constant fear whether I am going to lose it. This time that we are spending together now, as soon as we enter on a holiday, the next thing that comes to our mind is after 1 week I will be gone. So that tapa, that 1 week is approaching. As soon as you are at home, after 7 days you are going back. So every day, morning you wake up, the fear inside you is increasing. 2 more days left, 3 more days left, 1 more day left. Though you are enjoying, there is a tapa inside that is making you suffer. And the third tapa that happens mostly in relationship is, what if, What if what I have, I'm not able to retain it? What if it goes to someone else? What if what I have goes to someone else? So one remains insecure. That is also a tapa. Another tapa that happens is, especially with material things, whenever you get something, that you always wanted, and you see someone who is having better than that. So you are not anymore able to enjoy what you have, because now the desire shifts towards, oh, people are enjoying even more. So you go on a nice vacation, and you are in a comfortable place, but you see people who are staying in a 5-star resort, and suddenly you see, yeah, I think it would have been. So tapa sets in. We are not able to be there. So there are these kind of tapa dukkha that come up. And then sanskar dukkha. Sanskar is, in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, sanskar goes very close with memory. So what is this sanskar dukkha then? If sanskar is memory, see, I am talking about the dukkha that is there in ahallada. So what is the smriti dukkha in ahallada? So the wonderful time that we spend, even if we are at a nice place, we say no, but that was the best. So you have spent a good time, a wonderful time, and then throughout your life, even till your old age, you keep crying, what were those wonderful days? I wish those days ever come back. I wish, that we go back to the time. We go back in time, but the time never goes back. So the samskara that it creates, even if you spend the most wonderful time in your life, the samskara that it creates, that you are no more able to enjoy anything else in your life, and you always go back to that time. I want that time back. I want my own self that was there then. I want his or her own self that was there then, and I want that time back. So this samskara creates a dukkha. Second thing, the way the samskara creates a dukkha is that it ingrains a deep craving for the same sensation. I want, even in spirituality that happens. You experience something immense, and then it creates a mark in you, and then you keep on craving. I want that state where I reached. I've met many people, initially when they begin their spiritual practices, or they get into a relationship, they get some immense experience. But then throughout life, they suffer from this pain, that I want that experience back. So this is samskara dukh, which is coming because of ahlada, because you got what you wanted, you are suffering. And this is because of the fundamental phenomena of guna vritti virodha. It is because life is a flux. The gunas are always changing, and they never revert back in time. So therefore Patanjali says, dukham evam sarvam vivekinaha. If you have discrimination power, you will be able to see that ultimately, even if it is giving you pleasure now, it is going to become a source of pain. So I know it sounds very depressing, but Patanjali is pointing out the need, why you should walk on the path of yoga, and why you should search for a joy which is transcendental. Then he says, Heyam dukkham anagatam. That is why, if you have viveka, Patanjali is now igniting the need for viveka. Then he says, for viveka khyati, you should do Ashtanga Yoga. So Patanjali is selling Ashtanga Yoga here by, initially scaring you, telling you that he is not scaring, it is the fact of life. And he's telling that if you have viveka, you will see the dukkha in life. If you see the dukkha, naturally you would like to avoid it. Correct? So he says, Heyam dukkham anagatam. The misery which is not yet come is avoidable. So this is a big thing Patanjali is saying. The misery that has not yet come is avoidable. You can avoid it. And what is the cause of that which is to be avoided is the union of the seer and the seen. Drishta drishyayoho samyogo heya hetuhu. So because the seer and the seen have joined together, that is the reason that this attachment is becoming a cause for suffering, because Prakriti is always changing. The drishya is always changing. There is guna vritti virodha in the drishya. It is not there in the drashta. Correct? The change phenomena is not there in the drishta. So now the point comes here is, what is the, um, uh, we are all a conglomeration of these two things, drishta and drishya. Correct? And when we love something, when we get into a relationship with someone, we all manifest the drishta, drishya, samyoga in our relationships. Okay? So now I want you to imagine the relationship of love, an intimacy with a partner. Okay? Where the relationship is a spectrum. Okay? From on the left side, there is a relationship which is a drishya dominant relationship, means object dominant relationship. And on the right side of that spectrum, it is the drishya dominant relationship, the witness dominant relationship. Okay? In the middle is a shift gradually from the object to the subject, from the drishya to the drashta. Okay? So imagine a relationship which is based completely of the merging of the subject with the object, as much that subject feels that his existence is only the object. So I feel that I am only the body. And I also feel that the person that I am in relationship with is also only the body. And with this intensity, with this kind of attachment, I get into a relationship. So what will be the characteristic of such a relationship? So the physical sex will become the fulcrum around which the relationship will rotate. If that is there, relationship will be fine. If that reduces, relationship will become weak. Correct? This is number one. Second, in this kind of a relationship, there will be a lot of insecurity. The person doesn't want the person's body to change. Person becomes fat, relationship will break. Person no more looks attractive, relationship will break. And these kind of people will wonder, how can a person remain with the same person lifelong? So there will be frequent shifting of the bodies, because there will always be more attractive body available. And with time, body will grow old, so they will search new bodies. Because for them, the whole relationship is lying on the drishya. So the drishya becomes better, relationship shifts. So there will be a lot of insecurity, there will be a lot of fear. And the person who is in relationship, who knows that everything is physical, there will be a lot of anxiety that the person has to remain attractive. So if little bit also the person puts on weight, there will be a lot of guilt, lot of anxiety. Person has to remain looking attractive. So they will spend lot of time decorating themselves on the body. And the other partner also will not accept. So the materials that are required for the body, the dresses, whatever equipments you need, there will be a lot of focusing on those things. And therefore, naturally, they will click more and more photos, because body is only there. So body you can click, emotion, other aspects you can't click photos. So this relationship will manifest wherever they go for tour. There will be 500 clicks per day. And both of them, if it is good, if both are on the same plane, both are drishya plane, both will do this, both will. So there will be, everything will be body centered. And in this kind of a relationship, it will be difficult to forgive. There will be a lot of sexual jealousy, because if anything, any betrayal happens, it means that the whole existence has been shaken. So existence is body only. So there will be a lot of insecurity related to the bodily thing, and sexual jealousy will be very, very strong. So if somebody sees the partner with another, he will kill the other person. There is no other choice. He will go to jail, but the other person will be killed. So we see in everyday news this happens. You just open Times of India, and every day there will be murder, killing, rape, or whatever that is happening is intense sexual jealousy. Alpha males. So there will be drishya. Drishya will be there. And you see then the spectrum moves more and more from the drishya towards the drishta. And there is another aspect of the love. This love manifests when you have grown old with the same partner. When you have held hand in all the difficult situations of your life. When body has withered away. But there is something in the person you are comfortable with. It is not also about emotional fluctuations. It is not also about saying something, gifting something, patting each other's back. It is not anymore transactional also. It is just that the person is there besides you. And even without uttering a word, you can sit silent for hours together. Peace, forgiveness, compassion, mutual freedom, mutual growth. Beyond body, emotion, intellect, that they don't matter. No matter how the person changes, how fat he becomes, how old he becomes, no matter how foolish he behaves, no matter how less intelligent, how less, he is expressing deep, complete acceptance. Serene. This is another spectrum. So in the first aspect, the drishya aspect, the longing, though it appears to be very strong, when the person goes away, there will be a lot of drama. But out of sight will be out of mind, and they will look at another. But here, even if the person is out of sight, the longing will remain lifelong, beyond life. It will always be there. Longing will touch the soul here. And now you can imagine a spectrum from this end to that, a continuum of relationship. So this is something like this. So attachment to the body. Be high, medium, and low. Attachment to the emotions. So in the middle one, the emotions will play a more important role, whereas they will be low in both the other domains. Here big body will dominate over emotion. There, the transcendental will dominate over emotions. Intellect also, but intellect goes more towards the right side of the spectrum. Emotion will be towards little left. And then the insecurity will be high in the first one, medium in the middle one. Influence of others, when other people give an opinion about the person that you love, your opinion will quickly change. So the judgment will be high in the first one. It will be medium in the middle one, and judgment will not affect at all the third one. Taking, there will be always, the focus will be on how much more can I take. So the conversation will be such that what have you done for me? And that will be more here on this spectrum. Whereas here there will be nothing like that. In the middle, it will be balanced, give and take. Equally you give, equally you take. So person will maintain the relationship. Whereas giving will reach a very high aspect in the last one. Forgiveness and compassion, way to show intimacy. In the drishya dominant love, physical and material show will be much stronger. The love will be shown in terms of money, in terms of material, in terms of objects and physical intimacy. Whereas it will be shown more by poetry, more by emotion, more by, those aspects in the drishta. And in the drishta dominant, it will be the intimacy will be shown by giving freedom, peace, and showing more opportunities for growth for each other. And the longing will be highest in the drishta dominant love. So love of Radha and Krishna, Shiva and Parvati, Rama and Sita, they fall under this drishta dominant kind of love, which we, idealize. We want to move towards those kind of domains. So if given a choice, what kind of love would you want? What kind of love would you want? Drishta. But this is a relative aspect, If a drishta dominant person marries a drishya dominant person, what will happen? Drishya dominant person will take divorce, will ask for divorce. He will not be able to understand what is going on, but will not be able to sustain, because he will suffocate. His gunas will be very different. Guna vritti virodha will be very strong. So, yeah, but the drishya dominant person will also repent later on. But jab tak drama hai, drama khelna hai. So it would be nice, when you choose your partner, you analyze yourself, analyze partner, and then get into relationship. Most of us, 99% are, I don't know, but most of us here, I feel, are in the middle. And middle also, required, because you want that emotional play, that intellectual play, those things to happen. But ultimately, the drishya dominant and the drishta dominant love relationship is ultimately in parinama is dukkha. It is dukkha. There will be guna vritti virodha, and so this is an insight of, this is not only about relationship, about anything that we relate to in our life. We can relate in these three domains, and passions are subdued. Then only the true aspects emerge in yoga. So, do you agree with this table? Anybody, any comments, anything you want to share? Instead of DRI, DRA. Okay, that is okay. Any comment on the material that is there? From where this concept is? It is taken from the previous sutra only. It is like attachment of God. This is our creativity. Because drishta drishya samyogo is the heyetu, and dukkha is coming mainly from relationships. No, in our life, where is dukkha? Dukkha is in relationship only. Objects are inert. That we can tolerate also. Okay, it gets destroyed, but relationship is the aspect where we suffer, right? The whole humanity. And in relationship, everything is centered around love. So that's why we are saying that the drishta drishya samyoga is a spectrum, and that can manifest in this way. Anyone there online, Ajita or Rama, Sujata, you would like to share anything? You agree with what is there on the slide? Mother's love towards the child. Where does it come up? Except from the attachment. So it is towards the right side of the spectrum, very much towards the right side. Yeah. So you can mark your relationships in that spectrum, where which relationship stands. Mother, father, father, daughter. Father, daughter, their emotion also are less. So mother-child relationship goes more towards right, or father-child relationship goes more towards the right? Mother-child or father-child?
Father with the child. Father child. Because
So do you agree with this, or I have to change? Because this is not the ultimate. It is just yesterday I made. So would you say father-child relationship is more towards the drishta, or mother-child is more towards the drishya, drishta?
dependent on the people. It is the feminine quality in the person. Like there are fathers who are.
So feminine,
Like new age fathers.
new age fathers.
Fathers who are completely.
Hmm, hmm, hmm. So I think it is also about, expectations. It is not only about low emotional attachment, but I think fathers expect also, that you should stand, or you should, contribute to the family more than mother. Father expect that if they have put some effort into you in your life, you should give them return later on. That expectation is lesser in mother, but father want back. So taking is there. So it is not only about emotion that you can talk. So there is taking back from father more than mother. Mother gives more.
I think depends again on the person.
Is it? Yeah. Yeah. So we are talking in general. What average fathers, average mothers do. But yeah.
But the dominant relationship looks like the person is not at all involved in the relationship.
So that is the problem. No, he will be divorced. So these people find it very difficult. Actually, not at all expressive. So इन लोगों को बेचारों को गर्लफ्रेंड मिलना भी मुश्किल हो जाता है दृष्टा वालों को. Not very much appreciated in the Rajasic society. No, I have my own friends, who are with this quality, but they are bachelors.
Action in both the way it's low, attachment to emotion. If a person has an emotion, like it is 50-50, so where can we put this?
This is middle, no? Drishya, drishta, mixed.
High. Emotion is high.
You are saying that it is 50-50.
Yeah. Not completely devoid emotions, but they do have emotions towards the partner.
Okay, her question is, if emotion, how are they moving from the drishya to the drishta? Whether it is low emotion to high emotion, or high emotion to low emotion. How does it move? From left to right. Left is drishya, object. Right is subject. What is happening to the emotion?
Rather, I think the direction of the emotion is like the emotion towards what? To the kshetra, and if it is more my emotion towards your appearance, emotion towards a personality, my emotion towards something beyond.
So Nishita has answered it very beautifully. She says that rather than the emotion, it is the direction of the emotion. Whether the emotion is directed towards the body, it is directed towards the intellect, towards the personality, or towards the soul of the person. So Bhagavad Gita very beautifully describes this in the Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. So here we can understand that the drishya is the kshetra and the drashta is the kshetrajna. And the middle one is the kshetrajna combination. So yeah, so something interesting to think about. Rama has asked something. Yes, sir, any material thing which gives pleasure will eventually lead to pain in the long run. I have seen practically. So are these only for relationship between two people or between personal and an object? Because with time, longing for object also comes. That is what I said. It is about anything that you relate to. Hmm? It need not be only the person. It can be any object also. Whatever that you relate to, you can relate in a drishya dominant way, mixed way, or in a drishta dominant way. Okay, so let us go to the next sutra. प्रकाश क्रिया स्थिति शीलम भूत इंद्रिय आत्मकम भोग अपवर्गार्थम दृश्यम. So Patanjali before this sutra says that the drishta and drishya samyoga is the cause for the pain which is avoidable. Correct? And now he goes further and defines what does he mean by drishya. What does he mean by the object, the scene? So he says that the quality of drishya is threefold. It manifests either as prakasha, light, insight, or kriya, activity, movement, and the third is sthiti, inertia. Sheelam means having the nature of, having the characteristic of. So prakasha is sattva, kriya is rajas, sthiti is tamas. So whatever you see is trigunatmika. That is what Patanjali is saying. And it goes from bhuta indriya. It means it goes from gross to subtle. So what can be perceived by the senses is the pancha mahabhuta. Then there are pancha tanmatras. Then there are pancha pranas. Then there are pancha emotions, respective emotions. Then mana, buddhi, chitta, and ahankara. So all those aspects are from gross to subtle are fundamentally of the nature of prakash, light, kriya, restlessness, sthiti, stability. Okay? And why are they there? Why is the whole drishya there? From the, annamaya to pranamaya to manomaya. All drishya that is there, it is only serving one purpose. Bhoga, apvarga of the drishyam. So, for giving certain kind of experience to the observer and also for giving freedom to the observer. Is it not contradictory? If I have a bhoga of something, I get bound by it, no? I get attached to it. And apvarga is like getting freedom from it. Liberation. So, can bhoga give freedom? Because Patanjali says that whatever that you are seeing around you, there is a observer within you. All of us have an observer within us who can observe. We can observe our body, we can observe our breath, we can observe our mind, we can observe our ego also. So there is an observer in us. Whatever that we are experiencing, whatever that is around us is of the nature of either light or activity or stability or inertia, unmoving. So Patanjali says that whatever that is there in your inner world or outer world or dream world, it is there for either the bhoga or the liberation of the Purusha within you. There is no other purpose of this existence. So the question here is, how can the same thing be both, for bhoga also and for liberation also? What do you say? Okay, take very simple example. I have craving for cake, chocolate cake. Okay, I have deep craving. Now, I crave for it, I forget about it. After some time, suddenly I see chocolate cake is in front of me to eat. All of us have observed this in life. You want something, you forget it, suddenly that thing appears. Anyone who has not observed this?
Only when you leave it, then only it comes.
If you keep on wanting it, it doesn't come. Huh? So Aditi is talking about a law. She says that you have a desire for something. Yes, it comes, but it only comes when you leave it. If you keep on wanting it, it doesn't come. So I want to know how many of you agree with her. Both happens. If you keep on wanting, also it comes. Okay. Sujata agrees online. Sujata says that yes, when you leave it, only it comes. But Aishwarya says that it happens both ways. You keep on wanting it, also you get it. Very strongly you want it, and you get it. So how many agree with Aishwarya? Raise your hand. You agree. How many agree with Aditi? It only comes when you leave it.
There should be first intense desire, then you have to leave it. But
Without leaving it, it doesn't come.
try to get it. Then the whole energy is not when wanting it. Then we will actually do something to get it. So that is wanting. No.
Oh, you think the desire should stop and the action should start?
Yeah, I mean, if I want something, if I'm only just thinking about wanting, it won't come, right? You have to leave it and then just do my work, and it will obviously come. Just wanting it very, I don't know how to say it. Strong desire.
Strong desire, but she also says that after that you have to leave it.
If it is strong, how
It goes away.
It goes more away.
For it.
More intense you want, the more away it goes. And when you sit, then you say, let it go.
That, as Purusha, we have to tell Prakriti what exactly do we want. We have to be very specific and then leave it to do its work and then just be there. Don't have to be the beggar and be the king to the Prakriti.
Okay, don't have to be the beggar to the Prakriti. You can be the king to the Prakriti.
But strong desires that are if you want, if we see it, for example, they store in our samskaras, and then they will ask for a body because that's what you wanted and you wanted and you wanted, they have to manifest. So also when something is very deeply wanted, it even roots, and that's why we keep taking life, and we keep taking life because of all those deep-rooted desires.
This is another cause for suffering, because we want something, and by the time it comes, we don't want it, but it is there.
What do you think? I've told about my practical experiences. I don't know what is correct or not.
My question is, when if something is very strong or intense, how one will live away?
Oh, his question is, if something you want very strongly, one leaves away because one gets dejected, says that I tried everything, it is not coming, bhaad mein jaye.
Like that,
Not like that.
That means you are giving
उससे पहले सुन, हाँ?
That means one can say you are giving up.
One can say you are giving up. Yeah. You give up. You try, you don't get it. So this is one way that one leaves. Other way is you become aware of this law and consciously try to do it. That is faking, yaar. You but somewhere inside you are waiting for it, no? I have left it, it is going to come. Huh? Moving on in life. You move on, you look at something else.
Yeah.
Okay. So you start with wanting it, but gradually you mature and you say, okay, I accept. Even if it comes or doesn't come, it is now equal for me. Then it comes.
That happens.
that might happen. So Patanjali, when he writes something, it is a law. So Patanjali says that bhog apvargartham drishyam. The whole manifestation of the external world around you, right now where you are sitting, me sitting in front of you teaching this, is for your either bhoga or apvarga. But it is for your drishya only that you are sitting here right now. Next moment also, when you go and have a tea, it will be for bhoga or apvarga for your purusha only. Whatever that you do throughout the day, continuously, there is not even a fraction of a second where this phenomena is not happening. Either bhoga or apvarga. Apvarga you have to understand. Bhoga, all of us understand. Apvarga is something that will remind you that you have to sit still as an observer. Something that will remind you that tada drushtuhu swarupe avasthanam. That you need not get down from your stage. That you should sit like a king. So, it reminds me of a story of Tulsidas. You know, Tulsidas was a great saint. So he was mad about his wife. And one day it was raining and the river was flooded, but he had such intense craving for her. She had gone to her mother's place. So he couldn't control himself and he got into the river which was flooded in the night, dark. And he was taking her name, missing her. And in that love, he risked his life and he swam across the river for miles together and reached her home. So there he sees that from the gallery, there is a long rope that is hanging. So he understands that my wife is also getting the same vibration that I am getting. So she has kept a rope here. So he catches the rope, jumps, and then he tells his wife, see, I have come. I know you were also missing me. So, I was not missing you. No, but I was missing you. Why did you keep the rope here then? So where is the rope? She looks behind and it is a big black snake. The flood water, no, it is hanging there. This is a real story of Goswami Tulsidas. Considering snake as a rope, he climbed. Then his wife, seeing the snake, flood, night, wonders. Oh my God. If this much of a craving you had even for a moment for Rama, Rama would have come to you. This shakes the person. And wife is, angry with something or something. She doesn't, yield to him and he feels very dejected and then he leaves. And after that, there is birth of Tulsidas, So, in the beginning, there is bhoga, but as one gets blind into the bhoga, Prakriti gives you a jhatka. Prakriti shakes you. Hey, you cannot just get into the rot like this. You have to wake up. So there are two things here. Prakriti does not want you to commit suicide. Prakriti does not want you to commit suicide. So it cannot always keep giving you jhatka. So it has to give you what you want also. Like mother, mother always has to give some or the other toy to the child to play. If one toy the child has played enough, mother shows another toy. So it is glistening, it is attractive. The child, goes towards it. Once they played for some time, got bored, child starts crying again. Mother gives something else. But when the child has played enough and the child says, no, I don't want anything now, enough of play. Then the child cries only for the mother. After that, whatever mother gives, child throws. Then mother gives. Correct? So in the same way, the drishya, the God, before coming, gives you toys. Much better than the earlier one, much better than the earlier. And you spend years together playing with it. Then you get fed up. Then he gives a better toy. Then you play. So in this way, the bhoga and apvarga keeps happening. Because the ultimate purpose is that the observer should establish in his real nature. But for that to happen, one, if always apvarga is done, you will commit suicide next day. Life is so depressing. So your bhoga should be satisfied also. And you should look forward to something in life. It is a big task for the Prakriti actually to keep you alive, to keep you always desiring something. So the bhoga has to be. And the apvarga is actually the main agenda. Apvarga is the main hidden agenda, but to keep you driving towards that in a step-by-step manner and not put you suddenly there, there are instances that the bhoga also has to be fulfilled. So ultimately, towards the final stages of this Kaivalya, when a yogi comes, it is so intense, this phenomena becomes so intense that any minute desire into the heart starts manifesting then and then. So therefore, you should contemplate on these kind of thoughts, which are very deep, very intense. What Patanjali is talking about, that everything around you is serving the only purpose, which is a systematic process of teaching you who you are. Yeah. And then Patanjali is talking about the what? Patanjali is talking about the drishya. Patanjali is defining drishya, and he further goes ahead and says that, okay, so these are the qualities of the drishya, that they are of the nature of light, movement, stability, activity, and these drishya are for the bhoga and apvarga of the purusha. And then he says that they exist in these 4 levels. So bhut indriyatmakam, he says, no? So from gross to subtle, vishesha. Vishesha is diversified. Diversified is what? Diversified is whatever that you perceive through your senses. So the same 5 basic elements, air, water, earth, fire, space, see how diverse forms they have taken. Ultimately, there are only Pancha Mahabhutas. Only 5, but they appear infinite. So many variations of these Pancha Mahabhutas you can see. So this is Vishesha. Vishesha is diversified. And then in the subtler aspect of it, it becomes Avishesha. So Avishesha is in their Tanmatras, in their subtler aspect. They all are manifestation of a single energy. So that is Avishesh. It is matter. Matter as we see and matter as Einstein sees. So Vishesha is how we see the matter. Avishesha is the wave form of the electron and proton, what the science says. And then he says Linga and Alinga Matra. Linga is indicated or marked. So here it comes to the psychological aspects of the matter. When it comes with the Linga aspect, it is anything that is psychological, that is subtler than the matter, but is with a sense of I-ness. So there is a indicated or a mark. That mark is that I is separate from another. That is the Linga aspect. And Alinga aspect is when at the time of creation, when everything was one mass, Big Bang. So that is one homogeneous consciousness where there is no separate I-ness. That then the thought came Ekoham bahusyam. I am one, let me be many. From then the psychological realm of many I-ness was created. From that came the avishesha, that is the tanmatras. From there came the vishesha, that is the panchamahabhuta and different kind of bodies and existence, all that. Okay. So Patanjali says that it is from that core to the manifestation, everything is drishya. And from that till here, its nature is prakash, sthiti, and kriya. Whereas in alinga, all of them were merged together. They were in one homogeneous, then they separated into three, and then the verification and evolution of everything into the current state. So he's talking about the whole process of Big Bang and evolution and the current state. And he says that everything from that time onwards, it is only for the drishyasya atma. It is for the purusha bhoga apvargartham. So here in this way, in these two sutras, Patanjali finishes the whole existence that we see. He is talked about everything that is observed. And then he goes into the characteristic of the drishta. If observed is like this, what are the characteristics of the observer? So he says, drishta drishi matraha shuddho api pratyaya anupashyayaha. The drishta is of the power of seeing, drishi matra. So what is the main characteristic of the drishta? Is the awareness. So drishi is drishta. See, observer could have been called as a shrota also. Why he has been called as a drishta? Why the observer was associated with the sense of seeing? Because among all the sense organs, seeing has got the maximum insight. What clarity seeing brings, no other sense brings that clarity. You hear something, you are still confused. You smell something, you are confused. You touch something, you are confused. But when you see, because Akshi is created from Surya Mahabhuta. And the Surya has the quality of Prakasha. And Prakasha has the quality of giving you insight, removing the darkness. Correct? So when each subtle organ was created, it was created from one Mahabhuta. So eye is created from Agni. Ear is created from ear. Shabda gunakam akasham. Kham, space. Space created ear. Therefore, sound travels in space. You don't give space, it is. Even there is an anahata sound. There is not only ahata, which requires air for reverberate, rarefaction and that. There is a sound of the space itself. When people go, the space in its vacuum produces a sound. That is the anahata nada. Nose. Prithvihi prathvyaha gandhaha. Smell is indication of the Prithvi Mahabhuta. So whatever that has smell has kapha in it, has Prithvi in it. So if you smell something and something is stinking, it means that it is ready to dissolve into earth. It is decaying. Decay means earth is overtaking now. When it rains, you smell earth. So the more something stronger smell it has, the more Prithvi or Kapha Mahabhuta manifests. Can you smell air? Pure air as it is? Can you smell fire? Can you smell water? Can you smell space? Only earth you can smell. There is no other Mahabhuta that you smell. You smell means earth is there. Then taste. Which Mahabhuta? Water. If somebody is dehydrated, you say him, show your tongue. If it is watery, enough water in your body. If your tongue is completely dry, and you eat favorite dish, you have no taste. To taste something, you need water on your tongue. Understand? Can you taste water? Yes, you taste water. Every water has different taste. Ganges water has different taste than water in Hubli. You taste water. Do you taste earth? Do you taste earth? You taste earth or not?
Yes.
Yes. You can taste earth. Literally, you can taste stone. But do you taste fire? It will burn. Do you taste air? Do you taste space? So, the grosser the Mahabhuta, it has the qualities of other three, other four. So, earth has quality of all the other four. See, this is earth. I can taste it. Correct? I can smell it. There is a peculiar way. I can produce sound out of it. And I can see it. So, but when it comes to the water aspect of it, you can do everything else, but you cannot smell it. Because if you smell it, earth has to be there. Similarly, when it comes to fire, you can see it, you can hear it. Fire has a sound also. When fire spreads, you can hear the sound of fire. Okay? So you can see it, but you cannot taste or smell it. You understand? So, like that, the Mahabhutas from gross, they become subtler and subtler. So, and how about touch? Touch is which? Vayu. So, touch is from the Vayu Mahabhuta. So, can you touch fire? It will burn. Correct? But air you can touch. Air you can hear also. You can hear air, right? You can touch it also. But you cannot see it, taste it, or smell it. And then comes the subtlest Mahabhuta, which is Akash, which you can only hear. You cannot touch, you cannot smell, you cannot taste, you cannot eat, means smell. Okay? So, see how wonderful it is. Pancha Mahabhutas and Pancha Indriyas. Vedas say this. In the creation beginning, Agni came and entered into the eyes. Akasha came and entered into the ear. Prithvi came and entered through the nose. Water came and entered through the mouth. And Vayu came and entered into the skin and touch. This is how it was. Pancha Mahabhuta created you. And then they became subtler and subtler and subtler and subtler, in this way. So here he says, drishta, the nature of the drishta is drishi matra. It means that drishta has a peculiar quality of being the observer or being aware. So the awareness of the drishta is such that in 13th chapter, there is a very beautiful shloka. It says, Sarvatah pani padam, Sarvatah kshi shiro mukham, Sarvatah shruti malloke, Sarvam avritya tishtati. How is the nature of this drishta? It has all the senses at one point of time everywhere. All the senses at the same point of time everywhere, including the intuitive sense of the manas. So, it is with this awareness that the drishta exists. can hear everywhere, see everywhere, smell everywhere, touch everywhere, feel everywhere. So with that, and it is also has a purity in its existence, untouched by the modifications of the Prakriti, pratyaya pasyayaha. And though this drishta is untouched, stable everywhere, within the combination of Prakriti, it appears as if the drishta is seeing. Like sun is everywhere, but if you put a convex lens, which is clear, you feel as if the sun is throwing one particular wave or ray onto the matter where you want to see. Correct? So if the chitta is pure, the Purusha starts reflecting on the chitta, and then it appears as though wherever the chitta is looking, the drishta is throwing his light. It is the physics there. Okay. So drishta is of that nature. It is of the nature of enlightening wherever it is projected. So when it projects, you get viveka, you get jnana, you get discrimination. Correct? But ultimately, we can't say that sun is doing anything. That sun is the doer of, in this room. If I put a convex lens, it is dark and the light of the sun reflects and throws a light onto the television and I am able to see the television. I will, for me, yes, it is the sun only which is showing me the TV. But for the sun doesn't know what you are doing. So in this way, the observer is everywhere, unattached. But till drishta drishya samyoga is there in the path of yoga, we harness that observer in our tools and use it to see what we are, who we are. So that way, Patanjali is telling that. So with this, we will end today's class and look at the further sutras tomorrow or next week. Any questions? So the drishya is of the quality of prakasha, sthiti, kriya. Whereas the drishta is only of the observer, of the nature of awareness. There is no other quality to it. This is what yoga is all about. So in that way, if you say, the most beautiful and simplest definition of yoga is a science of self-awareness. This is the definition that I like the most. Okay. So thank you, all of you. Namaste.